So today's our red day. We're going to talk about the red camera and some camera basics and some things like that. So here we go. This is the red camera. You've all have seen it. The very first thing we're going to do is put it on the camera. So to remove the tripod plate, I simply loosen the knob on the right. There's a red button on the left. And who wants to operate that to kind of show things? Great, thanks. You know how to zoom in? No, I meant.
Oh, sorry.
Someone
Wants to run our camera.
So,
Or the Zoom, yes.
so I've removed the plate. This has, because of the weight of the camera, it has two of the 3/8 inch screws.
And we do this too. There you go. And then if you want to move them, you just have to pull these up.
And Ashton, what should every DP keep in his or her pocket? A quarter, why?
To screw in the bottom pieces.
Yeah, so a quarter is great because it fits well into the head, but it also allows for the right tension. If you get too much tension on there, it can be very difficult to come off.
Now Grant's using his key instead of a quarter. What's interesting is I recommend if you're going to use your keys, I have seen people go ahead and try and use this portion of your key to tighten that. And guess what? You bend your key and then your key's useless. Good. This is, if you have a key in your pocket, something like this is great. But I'm an Eagle Scout, so I have my Swiss Army knife, which always has a screwdriver on it. The 70s? Yeah, right.
So I just put the camera on the head, and you should all be in places you can see this if you don't already know this. This tripod has a leveling bubble right here. And so instead of adjusting all the legs, we can loosen up the middle and adjust the camera so that the bubble's in the middle. And now I know that the camera is level so that the frame will look level. I can power this with AC, but right now I'm going to use a battery. We use the Anton Bauer battery system, which attaches with a gold mount. Gold mount has 3 pins, 1, 2, 3. And so we simply put it in, and when it clicks, it's in. To release it, there's a release button here, and you just go the opposite direction. By the way, the batteries, the Anton Bauers, they depend on how much other equipment are powering off of it, but it's a good hour minimum. We can sometimes get as much as 2 hours out of them. But if I want to switch the camera, but I don't want, or switch the battery, but I don't want to turn off the camera, what do we do? Yes. Yeah, so I can get a stinger, which is what we call an extension cord on set. Plug this in, and this converts the power, and this will go into the back of the camera right there. So we can run off AC power. But why do I need to plug this in if I want to switch batteries? Okay, so the camera has to have power for me to take it off while it's staying on. What do we call that process? Hot swap. So if someone yells, "Hey, we've got to do a hot swap," that means we need to get the AC power, plug it in, then we can pull off the depleted Anton Bauer and get a new one. Yeah.
Hey Grant, if I've never done a hot swap before, or I've never plugged in the camera before, what should I do? Should I just like plug it into one of the holes in the camera that it might fit into?
There's only one that it will fit into, but no, you should know where it should go. It says DC in, there's a very specific spot. If you start trying to plug things in just anywhere, you can fry the camera. And this is a very expensive camera, and we don't want to just make that mistake. If you can see this,
So most importantly, if you don't know, if you're unclear, even if you feel like you've had this lesson, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? Especially when dealing with something that you could overpower and destroy.
yeah. I'm just gonna power it up. There are two record buttons on there. One of them is also the power, so it's this button on the side. If I just push and hold it for 2 seconds, it's starting to boot up. If you see the monitor, it will in a second, you can see that it's starting.
Also, if you're close enough, you can hear the fan
Yeah.
is already going.
And it has its a real light fan while it's booting up, and then when it's idling, the fans go faster, and then they go turn off when you hit record so that they don't make noise. But it takes a little while. You can see there's the opening menu. You can hear the fans ramping up right now. In a second, you'll be able to see the image on screen. And then I'm gonna have you come all in so we can go through the images or the menus on the screen as soon as it's ready. Okay, it's up, so come on over so you can see. So let's go do the bottom first of all. So the bottom left, it's right now in camera mode. So the red thing indicates camera. If I push this, it will go to the stored files. So these are the images that we recorded. So Santi, who's not here, Santi and Noah and I filmed a bunch of footage. We can look at all the, we can look at all the clips that we have on the card right now. So let's say we want to go to this one here. If I double click on it, it opens up that clip. And if I want to, I can hit play. I can even scroll through it so we can see the image as we recorded it. And so every clip that is on the card is there. That is that corner. I'm going to go back to camera mode. So now it's going to show what's in front of the lens now. This is the histogram right here. That's the amount of blue, green, and red light coming through. So if it's very, very dark, you can see it starts to move to the left, more light, and it opens up. So that's the histogram. This right here is telling me that I have 78% of my red mag free. So I could probably film without formatting the media, but we can do that. The battery's at 95%. It does have a scratch track, so we can see as I'm talking, you can see the levels bouncing. So it's nice to have a scratch track to match with the audio if you don't do that. Let's go through the top. The upper left is the frame rate. So I can't think of times when we won't shoot.
Your parents.
When we won't shoot
FaceTime.
in 24 frames per second, which is 23.98. But there are times when occasionally for TV you shoot for 30, or if you want slow motion, you might make 60 or 100 or 120. This camera can shoot 4K at 350 frames per second. The 8K can shoot at 680 at 6K. So you can really get some great slow motion.
You like shoot an apple with a bullet and it would be dramatically slow. So for those slow-mo heads, what happens when you get into the higher frame rate? Huh?
You want me to say it?
Well, Noah raised his hand. What do you think, Noah? Right, but as a DP or someone running a camera, the thing that you need to know is the slower it is, the more light you need. It really cuts down on the information that the camera's coming in. So he's talking about snow, I think.
So the shot that we did 2 weeks ago, when I was so excited to dump the snow on Noah, I'm not sure we got it because you changed the frame rate from 24 to 60
Yeah.
and suddenly it got a lot darker and it
It's
looks like a
the
black
amount of-
image.
Light that you're allowing to enter the frames.
Check, 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 test, test, test.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay,
Alright.
check, check, check. How about now? You can hear us?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Thank you.
Great, great.
Could you not hear us in the beginning?
None of that.
No,
was-
I heard you for like the first probably 20 minutes or so, and then it just abruptly cut out.
Just cut out? Okay, good. We see
Yeah.
the levels bouncing here. Okay, cool. And we're still recording. Great.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll mute
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's-
let's see. Okay, so I don't even remember where we left off. Let's go
We're
get
talking
back.
about black balance or white
Yeah.
balance.
So is white balance the same thing as exposure?
No,
No,
Okay.
white balance is your color.
color.
So because of the sensor in your camera, it's going to like accept light and interpret light its own different way. And how your light hits a color is interpreted differently. So you white balance to tell your sensor, this is what white looks like.
Okay.
And then it can properly interpret all of the other colors correctly. It can be different from camera to camera. It can be, you can have the exact same camera and something is just a little bit different with the sensor. I had the exact same camera and I feel like they changed where they manufactured the chip. Because one was 6 months older and one was 6 months younger, and they never looked the same. So I always had the white balance to do just based off of if I just defaulted based off of that, I always had to match it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Exposure is the level of light that you're letting into the light. So think of
Yeah,
your
the
pupil,
brightness or-
like your pupil,
Yeah.
when it's dark, your pupils are what? Are they big or small?
Open.
They're
Yeah.
open, but are they
Open.
bigger? Are the pupils bigger or smaller? The
Bigger?
black part of my eye.
Yeah, bigger. yeah.
They're
Bigger.
bigger.
'Cause-
Yeah,
Allowing, trying to
Because
get
you're
more
trying
light.
to get, so when you open up your eye, you're letting more light in, or you're letting the lens, you open up your lens. So then if I shot a flashlight in your eye, your pupils what dilate? So just like that, we're gonna close down our light to let less light in.
Oh,
But the confusing part is if I let less light in, is the number higher or lower? What do you think? I just said it was confusing. So what seems not logical? The higher the number, the less light is coming in. The lower the number, the more light is coming in on your f-stops.
yeah,
Okay?
So the higher.
So-
Number is gonna.
So this one goes all the way to 22 on the f-stop. So that's actually closing down how much light goes into the camera. But if I go all the way to 2.1 is the lowest level that this f-stop goes to, it's letting in more light. That's the fun
Okay,
thing. That's
yeah.
always like screws my dyslexia brain, right? Open seems more to me, but it's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Let's keep going through the menus. You can see that this is the color, and if I wanted to do this, I could, for example, move the color over and it's actually changing the image color, but I'm gonna leave it at 56.
And if you go online and look at the color chart, you can see the whole spectrum. But like fluorescent lights, like the ones that are over the green screen are a different color level than incandescent
There
or,
is presets with red cameras, like.
Yeah.
The Komodo has presets on there. I'm sure this one does too.
yeah, I'm sure.
Let's get through the menu. The next one is the resolution and the framing. This is in 6K, 16:9. I can also go 6K widescreen. And if I did that, you'll notice that the image actually will change. And so it basically is going wider. But I can go smaller if I wanted to. If I wanted to make this record in just 2K, I can do that, and you'll notice that the images changes.
So it's more of like a 4x3.
Tony, I'm gonna move you.
Yeah. It's not 4:3, it's still 16:9.
Oh,
But if, oh, sorry.
Which way you doing? Here,
Yeah,
can we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Just for the,
but if you look. Actually, I'm
sorry,
gonna
yeah,
frame on Tim.
okay, here.
Yeah, there you are. So if here I'm shooting 2K. But if I move this over and shoot on 6K, it will be a much wider shot because it's
Yeah.
taking in way more information.
Now, Grant, I have a question.
Yeah.
We talked about Ks as Kelvin. What are Ks in this instance?
It's the size of the frame.
Yeah, so K refers to ever, slang for $1,000 is K, right? So it means 1,000.
Yeah.
So your frame size is based off 1,000, right?
Okay.
So, that is the size, we can adjust those. Most of the time, we're either gonna be at 6K or we're gonna be at 6K widescreen,
So that's
For this.
6,000 by whatever the. equivalent-
3128 or, yeah. This we won't touch. This is the compression ratio. I like to keep it at 8:1. If I'm shooting a feature film, I tend to shoot at 5:1. If I'm doing something like a long game or whatever, I would shoot at 10 or 12:1. It's basically the compression ratio.
It's data that's being recorded to your card. So lower compression ratio, the bigger the files.
Right. If I was
So
at
if it was 2:1, it would be a much bigger file than it would be to 10:1.
if I was, in my other camera, if I'm shooting 8K at 2:1, I might get about 5 minutes on a terabyte.
Yeah.
And so it's
The more compressed, the less data you have.
5 minutes.
So if you,
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
less information you get, the more you compress it. So when you get in and you really want to mess with color or you want to mess with different elements, you're going to be limited in some elements if you compress it all the way.
the last thing is the menu button, and this will have us go through a lot of different images. I really don't want a lot of you to touch a lot of the presets in here. Just know that when we're ready to power off, we can go to shutdown. Because you don't push any other kind of menu for that. When we want to look at past media, we can just go into there, go to media. And if we wanted to go to device, we can say format card. I'm not going to format right now because we don't want to use some of that footage, but that's how we'll format the media. Do not ever format the media without asking me. By default, this is my camera. I'm the media wrangler. I'm the one who copies the files, and I don't always have time to do it. Yeah, Braulio.
Right.
So this camera has what is called a red mag. This card right here, it's a terabyte of information. And I can have all the media files, all the things that I've shot are saved on this card. By formatting it, you are basically wiping it so there's nothing on it anymore and you can start fresh. When we start shooting, often it's the job of the DP to check to make sure that we can format the card, because if we're filming all day long, we might shoot a terabyte. Now, I do have 2 cards for each camera, but we want to start fresh each day. And we want to be able to name the files, A001, for example, A002 for day 2, so that they can be stored on your hard drive in a way that makes sense. If you do A001 and then A001 on day 2, those files will all look like the same. And oftentimes your computer can't handle it, can't figure out which is which. So that's stuff that we do when we format. So, make sense? Yes, Noah.
Should we look at about 10% or 0%?
Absolutely not. So the camera pulls a lot of power, and Anton Bowers at about 40% start to struggle. So we never want to wait to 30. Hey. We never want to wait till 30. We want 40s when we start wanting to think, okay, last shot before we swap. And actually, you know what? Right now, the camera says it's 76, which is about an hour 54. So let's save this battery and let's do not a hot swap, but let's run off AC power. So there is a power strip right there by that Stinger. Can we plug that in?
Abby, what are you doing? Stealing more candy?
Okay, so it's the powers in the Stinger, so I'm gonna plug it in. And if you notice, it's now running off DC power and no longer using the power from the Anton Bauer. So I don't know, any questions? We're gonna go into lenses and stuff, yeah,
SDI protocol.
okay. So I've had now 2 red cameras fried because of the SD protocol was not followed. When you put in the DC power or a brand new power, it sends a lot of power into the camera. And that extra jolt of power tries to go through the SDI cable. That is what is right here. And that's what we use to have our external monitors. So we'll have the Teradek, which will send a signal to another monitor so the director can watch their image. And every time you go to adjust power, put in the DC power or do a hot swap, you must unplug the SDI cable first. This expander plate is just under $4,000. I've had to buy 2 of them because someone forgot to pull the SDI cable. So it's not the college, it's me, that's my money. Don't forget to unplug the SDI until you make the switch and then plug it back in. Thanks.
SDI plug first and then. the
Yeah.
fire code
Yeah.
after.
You should be able to just pop that in and out whenever you want, but this is, I mean, this is a lot of power, and when you plug it in, it's a lot of power all at once. And for some reason, it goes through, it wants to escape through the SDI, and so it fries the circuit board.
The SDI cables typically do have a shielding, but if the SDI cable becomes like older or decoding, there's a shielding on it that's supposed to take out that voltage from it. And so sometimes it just, if it's faulty, it just completes the circuit and it breaks one of the parts of the kit. Yeah.
Let's see, other things to talk about. Well, let's talk about zoom lenses versus prime lenses. So, hey, Rob, we this semester will only use prime lenses. We won't use zoom lenses. What's the difference? That is a zoom lens. This is a prime lens. What?
Prime-
Now I just scared you by, yeah. Dave.
Prime lens is set on.
Yes, so on the camera right now is a 25 millimeter lens. It's one focal length. So if I am filming,
Here, I'll be right here.
if I'm filming Tim, I cannot zoom in on him. I can't get a closer shot without moving the camera closer. If I had a zoom lens, you can zoom in on Tim because that is a range. That is probably 24 to 150 or something.
Usually it says it on the camera.
Yeah. But this is one lens. Now, if I wanted a closer shot of Noah right now, I would change my lens. So I have a lens
9.3
case.
to
Let's say,
11.
let's say right now, I have who's gonna do it?
You can do no, that's fine. All right, someone's gonna move the camera. Grant doesn't
No.
have to.
And we could do wrestling.
So I have my cowboy shot, but someone tell me what a cowboy shot is. Daniel. It's what?
I want to try.
Everest.
Stand up.
It's usually mid-calf
Oh,
to knee
go.
to slightly above the head. If you think of the old westerns, and the two people ready to draw guns,
And then.
So
then
can you,
wait for
Noah,
the-
Noah, can you
yes.
back up a little bit? So. There's our cowboy shot. I feel like any second he's out of his pockets, he's gonna be pulling a couple of guns. That's the cowboy shot. Now, if I wanted something tighter, let's say I wanted a medium shot, which is his waist and up. Jason, what lens would you go? It's on 25 now.
It would be 50. JC's very high.
Jason, why do you like the 50 lens so much?
It's, when you change focal length, you're stretching the image because they're glass. So as like this instance, it's like, look, when you're looking at your front camera on on your phone, right? It looks different compared to your front facing camera. That's the same thing that's happening here. It's the glass.
What do you say? They got it.
And.
Okay, got it means you, I won't let go until you
have
say,
more
got
like
it.
flatter image compared to like.
Sorry, I was hot, thank you. Nice little.
So if you're trying to live the like a 14 feeling, maybe a 14.
14,
with,
total clips. Yep, yep.
Try and do that and get them up closer to your.
Isn't it also bad to have too much light hit directly into, what's it called, iron,
Sensor?
the sensor?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do it for long periods of time. So
You definitely don't leave the sensor exposed that long. Why? Light level, especially if you're outside, you'd never take off your lens and point it directly into the sun. It'll burn your sensor, which will permanently leave like dead pixels in your image. I've done it before. Also, what you need to be worried about is dust can get onto your sensor and that'll ruin your image as well. So the less amount of time that we have it exposed, the better. And when we do another lens swap, and if you want to see what the sensor looks like, you can take a look, but it's basically kind of a reflected glass. Which they're gonna do a lens swap right now. If you want to
Got it.
see what the sensor come look at here. And look in
So-
this direction.
so I have,
So it's gonna be the whole. where the
you can
lens-
see where the 35 is. Noah is in a little wider than a medium there. So the first thing I want to do is get the lens cap for the 35. So you'll hand the top, the face of that, put it on. So I am going to loosen the collar. Release the pin, which is this button here, and I turn counterclockwise. I pull it off.
Okay, look, there's the sensor inside. You can all see it's the reflective piece of glass.
Oh.
No,
No, you're in an
There
angle.
could be
You're in an
dust.
angle.
Am I?
There you go.
Especially if you're outside and doing a lens swap, that's the most dangerous. The beach is a horrible place to take a camera. Sand, dust, all of those things are not our friends. Water, no.
Oh, it's good, no, yeah,
Okay, now come.
Rain, terrible.
So I have, the camera has not moved at all, but we went from a cowboy to a medium of Noah. And that's the Jason's favorite. It's the 50 millimeter on Noah. So let's say we want a close-up. Camera can't move. Let's say we have no more room to get closer. So what lens would you, if I wanted a close-up,
Oh, yeah. That was just sweet.
Yeah.
the 85?
Yeah.
He's all worried. Jericho would kick out of me. You make my
Baron,
Me.
135?
Yeah, I'll do one slot.
That's what you want, you want I don't.
I'm gonna
And like
pull this, you're gonna
it's
get,
said
take
about
off.
the glass bending
this
the
ca-
image, you can actually, if you look at the front of the lenses, the glass on the front, you can see that it goes from
Got it.
doubled to flat.
Yep,
That's absolutely
straight
the
on.
way you can tell what it
And
is.
then once it goes in, then you turn
Is
it
it in?
clockwise. No, not
The
yet.
more bubbled, you can get fisheye
No,
lens that
No,
way.
you're not at
Um,
straight.
GoPros are super circles.
If you need
right?
to go more that way, yes, and now straight in.
Usually the lens have indicated, right? Like the light.
I can't do it. I'm too afraid to break.
They do have an indicator and they, okay, go in.
I
and
can't
then-
do this. It's just
okay.
gonna break.
No, just twist. Oh, did we
But
get
it's
it?
like,
Where's our line? Where's our line? See the red?
oh, yeah.
scary touching that. Dude, I'm always like.
It is, it honestly, you should have some fear because these are expensive things. These lenses, I don't think you're fully in. So,
Yeah, go to the left of the red and then turn clockwise.
okay, you're in now, twist till you hear it click. Keep going. No, you're twisting. There,
There you go.
see, hear that click?
And then there's a collar, so turn the collar clockwise. Yeah, just till it's a little snug, that's good.
It's just muscle memory too. It's good to be nervous. Why? Because if you drop a lens, what happens, Grant?
You send me to the poorhouse. The poorhouse.
No, if you drop a lens, you could potentially break the glass, which makes it unusable.
Yeah.
You could also damage internal mechanics, which could make the lens unusable. Lenses can range in cost depending on how nice the glass is. From hundreds to thousands of dollars.
Rokinons are about close to 5.
These are 5?
Yeah, the Rokinons are
Yeah.
about 900 to 1,000.
Okay.
The DZOs are close to 5.
There you go. The ones that like they do on movies, there could be $100,000 lenses.
Yeah, the cook,
Yeah.
Cookie-
Lens set with a 100.
Kaylee, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, to take off the lens, there's like
yeah, let's
It's
swap
right here
back.
if you want to.
So anyways, we've now gone to 85. So we went from cowboy to almost a close-up and we now have the 85. So we've gone from
The
25,
MCU.
25 to the 85. I'm gonna put the 35 back on though, so come with me and you will do the lens swap now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
careful,
watch out
careful.
with the,
Yeah, the USB is really the issue.
Yesterday. There was. It might be the best one I named.
Would it be worth it?
It was some of the best talking.
Well,
All I can imagine is you think I'm directly into the.
But that being said,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ricochet had a promo. It was probably his best promo, which means that it was okay. No one threw toilet paper this time? No. It was good. It still has that.
so,
It's clearly. trying
first
to-
thing you need to do is loosen the collar.
Like, there's a bit more fire there.
And it will go all the way until it clicks.
Let's get up to-
Yeah, that's it. And then there's a release and then you turn this
She's probably.
counter clockwise.
That have them.
Are you pushing, push all the way in. Tell it,
She's
yep.
not there right now. You.
Yep. I'm gonna hand that to you.
She rules, I like that thing in soccer, I'm 16.
Yeah, I miss her big time, but I pretty much stopped watching. I watched for maybe 2 years.
Got it?
Like a site.
Honestly, it was muscle.
Yeah.
Me, and then
Okay,
I watched probably a year after. I watched, I think the last time I watched. it
Now.
was Nate Ayers, the Old Punch back.
Oh. Professional. He definitely has. For sure.
Oh.
okay. Have you worked with the Reds?
All of the new students this semester.
Okay,
that we
um,
got. There are things
who's-
that I'm not in that we should, I promise.
Who's feeling up Braulio? Braulio is gonna talk, so everyone pay attention. Braulio is going to, I want this to be.
God.
I'm your director. Assume that you're, Noah's gonna be talking, to Baron, who's sitting down over there. So, and then don't move. I want you to frame it and light it with the camera right now. So,
So Baron,
so the first thing he's doing is what?
a friend of mine just watched on for the first time.
Leveling out the camera. So he's loosened the pin in the middle and he's now putting the bubble in the middle. So now we know that the camera is
Oh, it's just so. awesome.
level. Now, we want him to frame it, so,
I
and
liked it a lot.
what did he do?
What are your criticisms of it?
He's tilted down so that his eyes are on the upper third. Okay, and now if he's gonna be talking to Baron, I think his eyes, yeah. So wait, it's dark, so what do you wanna do?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so what do you do?
He's very.
Yeah, so to what?
They're very much hits that he has.
It's, you
to,
don't
like,
spin it like you do a focus
same
ring.
with Knuckles.
You wanna figure out
They
what would be
definitely-
good.
Oh, over here. right?
Definitely
So,
blind your eyes with
Look,
some
you see your number? Do you even know what you,
But I think the
I am
stories of
not
it are very
aware.
good.
So you look at the lens.
Punch above their weight class. but
So
he's
you
very
are-
Clearly being targeted to
535?
younger audiences and kids.
Or,
Yeah.
I am more,
Isn't it?
if it's that, this guy, should I change it
Yeah.
to something else?
yeah, if you want more light,
Uh-huh,
you
can
open
see
it, that's all
where
the
they
way
have to
open.
simplify
oh,
things.
okay,
I think
How are you with light there?
it's crazy
That's two.
because
right.
Okay,
So-
so
while
that's
they are simple
four
characters,
is a nice
they're
place to
not
keep
in
it.
Mhm.
simple
You happy with
situations.
that?
I think that's
You
the.
can also then
that-
adjust the look,
director
the
and, like,
ISO
writer's room,
a little bit. You want,
That's the deal that they made.
make it a little brighter, keep it at,
Now, we can keep
say,
explaining
800.
details enough as simple as like what
Uh,
they do and the people
so-
they play. What they're
Now-
gonna be in
Now what do you do?
is gonna be the
Oh,
love
focus.
letter to the people. they
And
grew up
how
with.
do you focus? What
And
tools
I
do you
really
use?
Enjoy and love that. Also, as a fan
Well,
of.
first
Live
turn
and
on
Learn as a
edging,
song,
which
the,
is
like,
the bottom,
Versions and reprisals we got.
button on the monitor.
Yeah, I tend
It
to
made- it
try
made
to
little
eyeball it
happy.
close
Yeah.
first, because now you're looking at a black screen. So you get it kind of close. And now if you turn on edging, you can
Yeah.
start to see the image a little bit and then you can get closer.
Yeah, you
And-
don't like the dude they have the song.
Because we want to focus on the eyes. more,
Right,
Yeah,
it's
and I think that's a hard-
your subject's eyes that are what
Mhm.
matter.
And then we magnify.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Keanu really did a.
The bad
great
thing
job.
about this is you are no
Keanu did an
longer, yeah.
amazing performance.
So
I
now
was-
you can see
Um,
how good
and
his,
the whole- and the stuff they could do with the Maria.
his
story,
beard and his eyes now are,
they've done.
are perfectly in focus.
Mhm.
Especially marrying a lot of like the.
So now you
other
can turn them both off.
Maria
It's like-
style Stories, not just doing.
Going
that same
forward and
thing.
back.
Partly because he's moving.
Uh-huh,
He's doing this thing.
yeah.
So he's making it
But I
harder.
see like the brick or the wall is now more
Right,
focused on.
but we care about,
Yeah,
Noah's
yeah.
your subject.
Yeah, because I don't know where I've seen on the monitor where
Yeah.
there's kind of like a focus kind of going side to side, is that?
Yeah.
It can be a
Okay.
little bit of that too.
Okay, because that's what I've
If
seen
it's not
sometimes.
perfectly square,
Oops.
Yeah.
you want to take it
Uh,
both
and
off.
it Also helped establish Keanu or Shadow.
Yes, now
being an
frame it
adult,
correctly.
Where Sonic is still a child.
And that's
And-
where you are right now is great. I would say, all right, you got the
Sonic did.
MCU
And
or the
I really
medium that
enjoyed
I liked, so perfect. Okay,
Then going. to
All right,
and
so-
Sonic and Super Shadow and fighting each other was the hardest thing of all time.
Sonic 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you right now, I always hated Sonic.
who's brave enough to try it?
Mario guy. And I really like the Sonic movies.
Wanna try it?
I realized in Sonic 3,
Wait, so what?
Robotnik is.
I-
thing for me.
I'm your director.
Robotnik is-
Frame Noah.
And like any scene it wasn't.
And I want, this time I want an MCU of
You
Noah.
got double the fun on that.
Noah's still talking to Baron.
It's singing so good.
So you gotta frame it and set it.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Who's gutsy enough to try it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, he did
I'll go
honestly as
first.
well.
Okay.
I think
No,
they,
that's
they
great.
told,
Okay.
they had every joke that. they
Where do you
wanted
start?
With him, and they had it repeat that they wanted to.
Leveling it?
Right. It's
So-
way off.
That's
Oh,
a-
hold the camera,
And they did it.
You
in,
hold
like,
the
very
camera,
funny
right,
way.
and
Yes, that has-
either one.
And I also
and then you loosen it.
love Robotnik at the end of every game.
And then once it's loose,
Yeah.
now you put the bubble in the middle.
Yeah,
It's not there yet. The bubble in the middle.
yeah.
You're panning, you wanna
Oh.
tilt it, yeah.
Still
not there.
Bigger and more.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
put the
great.
bubble in the middle of the circle.
I'm holding out the faintest of hope. That after Sonic
Okay,
4,
then tighten
we
it.
clearly know who the
Okay.
characters that are gonna be
And-
revealed are. I want.
Now
Sonic
you
right.
want, it's
I want
really,
Sonic
really
right.
dark, you can't even see. So what can you do to lighten the image?
Storm the Albatross.
What's not happening right now?
Not enough light is hitting.
So what can you do?
Although Rouge is connected to Shadow. Yeah, we still have.
Changing the.
Fix the
f-stop?
Yeah.
That's my skill.
Not on the
Not
camera.
on the camera, through the.
F-stop is the lens. So it's set right now at 22. So that's as if
Amy and Big are connected.
you're
That's as if
doing
it's
this.
super dark.
Right.
Like,
So you should be getting more and more light as you open it up. So let's keep it at
I only
4.
know if it's. I only know if it's-
Okay, now I want, I said a MCU.
That show is better than it has-
So what do you have to do?
Like, it's got really funny elements.
We can change lenses, but you can truck forward.
I think he's really good. Also, that's my favorite Knuckles design.
This can truck. So you can truck it at him.
Big Knuckle. Yeah.
At there,
Yeah.
Hey, watch out.
All this. What are you doing? What's that called? Grant. Yeah, what was that?
What did we
called?
just do?
Actually moving the camera.
Trucking.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I don't like the way this is framed. What else do you need to do?
Yeah. So I think Sonic is in the best spot it have ever been in, to be honest.
Level.
It was a financial
success. Four is coming.
Is it-
Yeah.
Sure. They've already announced four and they've already
What?
showed the color, right?
In terms of.
I personally don't like the idea of tilting up, so I would raise the camera.
That's like
So
exactly
you
how
can-
I want.
You've got
Maybe an actual.
two sets of legs on it, so
They'll never do
you
that.
wanna open that other one over there?
I think
They'll
Sonic
never
Front-
make a good game.
Sonic
Open.
Frontiers
Sonic
is a
Fire-
good
Then you can simply lift the
game. I
camera
love the idea.
I.
and then we just have to walk the 3 legs. No, there were,
It's a hard sell for me,
the other
but
one.
I was enjoying the difference
It was fun.
for the
Okay,
standard.
now you have to check again the level. I'm gonna un-
A 7
Yeah.
out of 10 is amazing for
Yeah,
Sonic. so-
exactly. I was like, I like that they gave me.
Yeah,
What if we took this?
You have emotion?
also the
He's
music.
got like a
is cool.
deeper
The
voice that
Supersonic
kind of like
song.
emphasizes
You know-
like matured.
I'll bet you
I like
popped
that.
when they
Exactly.
revealed.
Now what?
The chaos symbol.
No, no, it's,
Wade.
Yeah, Wade, really the star in the Knuckles show.
Okay,
I was like,
so
it's like the
How
audience
do you
got
adjust
excited.
focus?
Yeah, I saw it. Wade was there for 5 seconds.
Wade Rock. The audience that I watched.
It's,
with,
I think what's crazy about the Sonic movie is how good the human
every lens is the focus.
Like I am invested in James Marsden, I'm invested in
Focus
Weinberg.
range.
Great.
The one
So
person
you
who
want to
really
eyeball it to get it
didn't work
close.
in Sonic 3 was the agent. Yeah, the agent lady, like I was expecting her to like pull off a mask and be Amy or something, right? Like she just seemed like not necessary.
And then-
It felt like an
Now you put
undone
it close. The
thread.
bottom button
Yeah,
is the
like-
edging.
Was she really? Really?
It's the
She was
bottom
just
button.
like,
On,
It was like
on
the
the
bridge
side,
finding
out.
right here.
they had like, it was, she was like the.
And
enemy
now
of James
you're
Marsden,
clearly
right?
out of focus. Don't keep pulling it. Just push it once.
Huh?
You're close, but you need to now keep focusing until we can see
Yeah,
Noah's eyes.
Everybody.
so I just like.
It was dead silent, yeah.
They did not find that. all. He was like.
It was
Because they're
very,
British, they don't have a sense of humor.
Going,
very American.
getting better. Yeah.
To show away a bunch of British.
Oh,
stuff.
laughing
So it's
because
sorta
of the
outlined.
situation that
Yeah.
became, like,
That's
it's-
He's not focused because it's his eyes you care about.
not professional.
Not funny.
Oh, another thing that makes focusing really hard is if I start moving. a
Yes,
lot.
it is.
So if I'm doing this a lot, don't you?
Yes, it's very hard.
Is it
You're-
intentional though?
Is this awful?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So that might be an element
looks
in
really
when
good.
deciding your focal length too,
Yeah.
or your lens.
Okay,
Or your
now,
iris. Is
frame.
are we gonna be
I-
talking? and
I am
moving,
not
right?
happy
Like,
with
Are
this.
we fighting?
So no, you want to be, his eyes in the upper third, that line, which is good. He's talking, well, Baron was sitting over there, so he was looking in that direction. So I want to keep
Well,
him
and I
on the
saw
left
that like.
third.
Okay.
So-
I don't think Noah wants
Um,
to stay on the left.
Austin Theory is a good.
So essentially, you're keeping him there, and I would go up a little bit now, because his eyes,
I think he's one of your.
That's gonna be a fun,
so that's it.
him insanity and,
Well done.
elimination thing.
Oh,
The elimination chamber are all killer, no filler, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a pay-per-view that I'm going to watch, and that's crazy. I think I need to go back and watch the rest. I'm still.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
During our anniversary dinner, the TV, that gets usually the TV right above us with snack house. So we were.
Someone else want to try it?
Okay. It was so
I want an extreme close up on of Tim's eyes.
I love Drew.
Drew is so good.
He's such a little cheesy.
Yeah, I would truck it.
He's
Get it
he's
close.
the best positions. When I started rewatching it, he was champion.
Yeah.
And he's such a baby face. I never liked that.
He's so much better as.
So one thing about this is that,
Yeah.
3 feet
And,
kind of as close as you want to get. Unless you, micro.
Yeah, your focal length, you might not be able to get focus.
So there you go. Okay, so now getting it level.
Izzy, you're able to step forward. Do you not want to be on camera? That's super valid.
No, we're not.
You are, look, you can look in the Zoom and.
Remember, how do we get the camera level?
That's behind us, it's green stuff. Because.
What you see in the showcase this year. You're just like in every movie.
Okay, can you see an image?
Which
you need what?
On a big screen.
We had
Right.
we had one showcase
You're
where.
Keep it at 4, because right now it's at 5.3, now we're at 4.
David.
Okay, good.
David, yeah.
So that looks good.
Not yet,
Let's get it
but-
framed, kind of how you want it.
I have to.
And now what do we have to worry about?
He won best actor that year.
Are you happy with the height of the camera?
So, yeah.
So the first thing you always want to do is, these should not be down.
Well, he was in all the genre projects. And we did 10 genre.
And then once they're down, lock them, then we use those, now lift to the height. About right. Now you gotta check your level again.
The bubble.
You always have to hold the camera. You gotta hold the camera, and that's how you move it.
That was fun trying to figure that out.
That becomes muscle memory. It's one of those things.
Okay, now you put Tim in the middle of the frame to focus before you frame it. So. Tilt. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Now we want to adjust the focus. When you start to get close, now you can turn anti. Okay, now we can focus. Now, no, Tim's talking to Noah, how long I want to be framed.
I don't know. I just noticed it.
If I was directing you, I would say perfect, I wouldn't touch it. Perfect, I like the light, I like the frame. I feel the wall, everything is level. Nice.
There's so much good stuff. I just read that, TCO taught.
Triple A.
Yeah, she saw me, she was just like. Oh. She grabbed my head and went, "Hey, man." Hey, Grant.
How's it going?
Going pretty good.
Your hair looks different.
Yeah.
Okay, I want an extreme close-up, but you can't touch the tripod. Yeah. So, and Tim. So where do we start? What's our first thing? What? Yeah, so I try to get the tripod close, and I feel like that leg can come up a little bit. It's this one. Yep. And you just, yeah, so you want to just lift it up a little bit. That's not probably too far. Yeah, right there looks good. I think it's pretty good. Now I would use this. You hold that with one hand, loosen it, and then put it within the bubble. Yeah, it's good. Okay, now we're gonna, I made this tricky, but let's say I open it all the way up. Now, frame Tim, because that's your subject. And I say I want a close-up of him, but you can't move the camera and he's on a set, so he can't move. So what do you do?
Probably switching the lens. right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you the 135. So let's do a lens swap.
When you would think they're gonna get it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that at you. Put that on the lens. I'm gonna loosen this and hand this to you. First thing you do is loosen the collar, loosen the collar, so it's all the way. Okay, and then there, once that's there, there's a button you push there that will release the camera. I mean, the lens. So you now turn the lens. Yep, and I'm gonna put this one on.
Not really.
Got it?
I've been playing Sonic Adventure, she's not that fast. She
This will-
runs, but she isn't like
You just
super
go to your
fast.
pocket and just don't over here.
Eight was fast, but not.
Oh, good.
Okay, so
This is.
I, what? Yeah, but let's, we don't have enough light on him. It's so dark. So what do you need to do?
Aperture.
You're right. It's the closest ring. Yep. And so you're getting more and more light, more, and four has been pretty good based on the lighting we have. Okay, so now let's frame him right. Let's put him in the middle so we can get focused right. Okay, that's good. Now we were going to adjust the focus on the camera, which is this ring. We'll get it close. Yep. Yep. Get it close so that we can now use edging. So edging is the bottom button.
This one?
Yep. Now you keep going the focus ring until his eyes light up. That's it. He's in focus. You take edging off. Baron stood in front of him. Yep. Now we're good to go. Okay, I want you to frame him. He's talking to Noah. So we want to put him on the right third. Yep. And his eyes need to be on the upper third. So you're going to tilt down. That's it. And I want to roll 5 seconds. So you hit record. So it can be that one or most people use the one on the left.
This one right here.
Is it the red button? Yep, that means you're recording. Okay, and I want you to float with him. Take that one off the side.
This one.
Yeah, so that you can, as he moves, and you move gently, but as he leans, you want to float with him. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Okay, cut. Good to go. Now I want to check playback. Make sure Tim's a terrible actor. Yeah. Tim's a terrible actor, so I want to check his work. Show me. Remember, it's the button bottom left. Yep. Yep. Just push it once and it will pop up. And then if you touch the image, the play menu comes up. Just hit play. And then if you touch it again, it goes away. So that's what you recorded. And you'll notice that at some point I told you to float with him and you start to see now as he's moving, you're adjusting with him, which is more natural, right? You film that. It's in focus. It's framed well. Awesome. So now we're done. So we can push back to the camera mode and we're good to go. Let's do one more camera swap because I don't like to leave this lens on the camera.
And it put out in the cloud car and he's following around the help assisting Mario.
Open on lens.
Yeah, like and it's, you get sprites in your cat.
So I loosen the collar.
Yeah, you release this all the way loose first. That's tightening. Loose it, loose, then you're gonna hit that and come towards me. Yep, okay, like that. I'll put this on.
Clearly they made us, they're like,
They were repackaging just 3D Mario or something, like 10 Mario.
Go.
For the new.
Got it?
And then they're like, let's add this thing. It's one of my favorite.
Okay. Anyone have any last questions about the red before we're done with the camera stuff?
Any questions? Hello? I think we're done.
Okay, goodbye at home. Thanks for watching, Dylan. Appreciate it.